Welcome to Ox Management Solutions free aerospace audit readiness course. Module 8, Documented Information and Communication. In the pursuit of organizational excellence, it is imperative you teach your staff about communication. Communication is the backbone that supports everything we do. Let's break down the different forms of communication and their pros and cons. Verbal communication is best for in-person meetings, performance reviews, phone calls, or any situation requiring immediate feedback or quick decision-making. Verbal communication is quick, direct, and fosters immediate collaboration. It builds rapport and trust faster than all other forms of communication. With verbal communication, nuanced instructions can be easily explained and repeated if necessary to provide clarity. The downside to verbal communication is that the message can be misunderstood or outright altered. Studies show that we lose half of the critical context in messages with each person that transfers the information. There's also the risk of information being forgotten. Written communication gives you time to make sure your message is comprehensive, accurate, appropriate, and clear. Written communication can give you a wide reach by distributing the message to many people at once. This form is best used for emails, reports, contracts, work instructions, and any communication where details matter and need to be preserved. The cons are that it lacks the immediacy of verbal communication and can be misinterpreted if not carefully crafted. It can also delay the decision-making process if response time is slow. Lastly, lack of tone and context can lead to misunderstandings. Visual communication is powerful for conveying complex information quickly. Sounds cliché, but a picture is really worth 1,000 words. Best used for presentations, charts, infographics, safety awareness, 5S, and anywhere you need to simplify and clarify complex ideas at a glance. Visuals are engaging, capturing attention better than text alone. The main con is that it might oversimplify or miss the finer points, leading to gaps in understanding if not explained. Each form of communication has its place. By using the right one at the right time, you can ensure your message not only gets across, but does so with clarity and impact. Flow of communication. Organizational communication flows in 3 directions: top-down, bottom-up, and lateral. Top-down communication is the most common, where communication is passed down from top management to their employees in the flow of a traditional org chart. The bottom-up approach is called the voice of the employee. Here's where the knowledge, lessons learned, and suggestions for improvements come from. Lateral communication refers to the exchange of information among peers, community members, or coworkers at the same hierarchical level. As for the standard, companies have the responsibility of deciding what type of situations are communicated, when to communicate, with whom to communicate, how to communicate, and who communicates. For instance, if your organization conducts town hall meetings, you may discuss organizational metrics along with the current state and the future state of the company. Top management may conduct this on a monthly basis with the entire organization in person in the cafeteria. This is considered top-down communication. Externally, you may receive an email from a customer regarding a warranty return. Maybe your customer service team notifies department managers immediately via Microsoft Outlook and/or logs into an SAP or ERP system. Then, during investigation, lateral communication takes place within cross-functional teams. To weave the principles of the standard into the fabric of your organization, begin by establishing clear channels for the flow of information, ensuring that each pathway is open and accessible to all who need it. First, define the key points of contact for communication at every level, assigning responsibility to individuals who will act as stewards of this exchange. Next, implement regular forums for dialogue, such as meetings, briefings, and reports, where information can be shared openly and precisely, with opportunities for feedback and clarification. Ensure that all communications are documented, creating a living record that can be referred to and refined as needed. Finally, foster a culture of transparency and inclusiveness, where every voice is heard and every message is conveyed with the same care and attention as the work itself. By following these steps, You will create a system of communication that not only meets the standard, but also elevates the unity and purpose of your organization. Documented information. Documented information is any meaningful information that the organization is required to control and maintain, and the medium on which it is contained. This includes documented information required by the standard, as well as documented information that the organization has determined to be necessary for the effectiveness of the QMS. When generating and revising documented information, the organization must ensure proper identification, description, format, review, and approval for suitability and adequacy. Let's consider an example of a quality manual for a make-believe aerospace company called Aerofly Manufacturing, LLC. Identification and description. Title: Quality Manual. Revision number 3. Effective date: May 6, 2024. Author: Jane Doe. Reference number: QM01. Format and media. Language: English. Software: Adobe. Graphics: includes flowcharts of core processes. Electronic APDF version stored in the quality folder or SharePoint. Paper, printed copies are uncontrolled when printed. Review and approval for suitability and adequacy. Reviewed by John Smith, Engineering Manager. Approval date: April 12, 2024. Approved by Jane Doe, Quality Manager. Next review date: May 6, 2024. Summary of review and approval process. The quality manual was reviewed by the engineering manager for technical accuracy and completeness. After incorporating feedback, the document was submitted to the QA manager for final approval. The approved document was then uploaded to the document management system, and printed copies were distributed to relevant departments. A review cycle is established to ensure the document remains up to date, with the next review scheduled 1 year from the effective date. Documented information must be controlled, from creation to retention. This isn't just about filing things away, it's about ensuring the right people have access and the wrong people don't. Think of it as protecting your assets. Only those who need to know, know. If your IT department is responsible for adequately protecting documents from loss of confidentiality, improper use, or loss of integrity, it may also be their responsibility to ensure these documents are available and suitable for use for any employee who needs access. Auditors often ask employees if they access their quality manual, standard procedures, and/or work instructions. The standard requires that the organization addresses the following activities, as applicable. A. How documents are distributed, accessed, retrieved, and used. B. How documents are stored and preserved, including preservation of legibility if handwritten. C. How documents are controlled, e.g., revision control. D. How long documents are retained and how they're formally disposed. E. How the organization chooses to prevent the unintended use of obsolete documented information. How do you ensure old documents aren't used by mistake? How do you identify obsolete documents so that employees know what they are? Consistency is key. Your documents should be consistent and traceable. Whether it's a process manual or a work instruction, it should be clear, up-to-date, and easy to find. No more searching through outdated files or playing detective to figure out what's the latest version. Get a system in place that keeps everything aligned.